And we are back live at the 2013 World Ball Hockey Championships. My name is Chris Abbott, and I'm joined here in the booth this evening with Trevor Murphy, also of St. John's. And Trevor, welcome to the booth. And right away, Hong Kong have a chance. Welcome to the booth, Trevor. I know this is your first action in this tournament, and Hong Kong score right away. We can't even get the introductions out of the way.
Good pressure by Hong Kong to start this game. Just a couple of loose pucks behind the net, some good traffic, and kept banging away until it went to the net. So that's a great start for Hong Kong. Because before the game started, you could hear Israel saying, we want to set the tone, have a good first shift, but obviously Hong Kong comes out with an early goal and gets a 1-0 lead.
Absolutely, and I didn't see who got that one. I made here on the announcement, but regardless, Hong Kong out to the 1-0 lead. And as I was saying, folks, Trevor Murphy joining us in the booth. He'll be here from time to time throughout the week. Trevor's background, Trevor's worked with Hockey Canada. He currently works with the professional ice hockey team here in St. John's, the St. John's Ice Caps. And Trev's had a long, illustrious career himself here in the Mount Pearl area of Newfoundland, so we're lucky to have him on the broadcast. Anyhow, back to the action. Israel gets the ball deep here, and that's rounded up by Wong. That's Colin Wong. Feeds it ahead. Fishman headed back there behind his own net, as well as Posen. Justin Posen had some nice emails from the Posen family. His two kids are watching. Said he's not just a world championship ball hockey player, he's a world championship dad. And now he's going to be a world championship dad in the penalty box for interference. Tripping's going to be the call, though, at 1:22. Posen's going to go off, so Hong Kong right to the power play, Trev.
Yeah, and trying to establish himself in front of the net and lay somebody early in the game, but a little too aggressive, knocking the Hong Kong player to the ground. And as you said, Chris, he'll serve 2 minutes or less here, depending on the Hong Kong power play. But early in the game here, you have a 1-0 lead already, so certainly if you can get that goal on the power play, you really set things up nicely for your team. So this is an important part of the game early for Israel to get this penalty kill.
Absolutely, and they do that by scrambling the draw into the corner. Back to get that is Oded Orgel. He is the stalwart defenseman on this Israeli team. He'll play upwards of over 30 minutes tonight in a 45-minute game as Orgel, big 57. He's joined down there on the back end by Lee Grunberg, player assistant coach for Team Israel. And Orgel into the corner there. Size mismatch. Stern on the loose puck. Stern forwards it ahead to 17, the other Stern. So you got Josh and Eben Stern out there together working on the penalty kill. Played into the corner. It's Jordan So. So had a good game last night. Fed out front shot. Big save by Winter. Rebound. Winter jumps on the loose ball. So good pressure there by the Hong Kong forwards down low.
And you're really seeing Israel. They're really collapsing down low in front of the net, which is leaving a lot of floor for Hong Kong to work with. They're going to try and crash the net and create some chances, but with the Israel team, crashing down low, it does provide some opportunities for some point shots. So we'll see if Hong Kong uses that here as the power play goes on.
Absolutely, and a huge strategy in the ball hockey game, Trev, as you know, with the floating blue line. Once they gain that blue line, they'll be looking to load up with the big bomb from center ice. And that's back behind the Hong Kong goaltender. And I believe that's Matthew Louis in net again tonight. Had a tough outing last night against Bermuda, did Louis. But from what I understand, he's one of the captains of this team, and he's back in there. And all the guys from Hong Kong, like a lot of teams we saw yesterday, just getting used to the floor, getting used to the arena, getting used to the weather here out on the rock. So
now we see on the Israel penalty kill, they line up 4 across the blue line, really forcing Hong Kong to dump that puck in. Got to make it tough on them to gain the zone. So it's going to be important for Hong Kong to dump that ball in and then go get it very quickly, regain possession.
And on the draw there for Israel, number 14, Michael Sanukov, played a fantastic game yesterday, scored the game-tying goal late against Italy to give Israel their first point. And Trevor, that was their first game in international competition ever. And they were ecstatic here yesterday to come out of there with a point. Well, let's see how they respond from that emotional victory today. That's a little too far from Tran. Winter jumps on it, covers up as team captain Ryan Kimmel yelling instructions there, number 32.
This is great to see. You have countries from all over the world being represented here. You've got players, that have some different, varying degrees of hockey background. But when you have these players coming together like this for a world championship, like I said, whether you're in the A pool or B pool, this is an important opportunity to them. And you say you got teams coming here for the first time, so it's a big moment for them. You're going to see these players step up and play at their best level.
Absolutely, it's a Hey, back to 40 shot. And a goal from Tony Lamb. Tony Lamb with the rocket on the power play. And that's 2-0 just over 3 minutes in. Hong Kong out to the 2-0 lead. Israel coming off that emotional victory yesterday, as we discussed, certainly down early here today. And they're going to need to find that emotion that they had yesterday to certainly get back in this one.
And exactly what we talked about. Israel crashing down low, getting lots of buys in front of their net. Hong Kong forwards join them, leaving the points wide open. You've got 7 or 8 buys in front of the net, screening the Israel goaltender. A shot from the point, they have a 2-0 lead.
And back come the Israelis. It's Price. Price with 2 goals in yesterday's game. Turnover at the blue line. Here's Pellig. Pellig back for Winkler. Winkler sends it in for Price. Price with the shot. Saved by Louis. And back come the Hong Kong team. Pass just out of the reach of number 91, Tony Deek. Tony Deek, our second intermission guest yesterday. Very nice gentleman, Tony. Here come the Israelis. Sent up. Here's Pellig. Ronnie Pellig looking to break through. And he's knocked off by number 19, John Lamb. And that'll go out of play. And the Israelis will have an offensive zone face-off here. And here comes the 2 Stern boys and Paul Pearl for the Israelis. We've yet to see the fiery Benny Berisha for Israel, number 16, Sanukov. Only had 1 shift thus far, so we'll see how it goes from here. But maybe the Israelis realizing they might have played some guys a little too much yesterday, looking to rebound. Here's Grunberg back to retrieve the ball. He rims it around the wing for Stern. In deep. After it is even Stern. Back around for Pearl on the forecheck. Josh Stern up high. Fleischman closes down on the pinch. And Hong Kong sends it. Him going for ice. Grunberg faking the fast run to get the icing. And that'll go all the way back to the Hong Kong zone.
That was kind of like a version of the running man right there, Chris. And I've seen you do that version at the Sundance sometimes. So nice work on that. But we're seeing Hong Kong, though, very content in their own zone, not running around, just getting the ball and putting it down the floor, not trying to cause any trouble for themselves and extra chances for Israel. We've seen 1 shot so far for Israel, so they're going to need to find a way here to create some offensive chances, get the pucks in the offensive zone, and start making some things happen here. Oh, and a quick whistle there, but a good save by the Hong Kong goaltender to keep this at a 2-0 game. That's shot number 2 for Israel. And again, a quick play off the faceoff gives them the opportunity. A quick whistle, but again, the goalie made a good first save. And we have another offensive zone faceoff coming up.
Thanks for filling in, Trev, as we had a member of the Canadian Ball Hockey Federation in the booth there. And this is the big line we're talking about. It's Sanukov with Berisha. And number 19, that's Matthew Wall battling in front. This is the big line for Israel. You'll see a lot of these guys. Wall battling hard in front. Back for Orgel and Kimmel. These guys will log a lot of floor time as well. And a nice block there by Duko Fangsoa of the Hong Kong team. Fangsoa, his team's player of the game last night. Berisha working low with Wall. Berisha and Wall work the puck low. A little turnover there. Kimmel is back on the back check. He knocks Fangsoa off. Sanukov calling for the pass. In, big save, went to rebound off the post. Everyone calling for the offside there, but Loki Kwan kept going, and he almost had a goal for his team, make it 3-0, and that would have been trouble for Israel. Here's Berisha on the forecheck, as we mentioned yesterday. Berisha, formerly of the Sudbury Wolves of the Ontario Hockey League. So as you mentioned, Trevor, guys with all kinds of backgrounds here. A major junior player from Ontario playing for Team Israel in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. You never know what you're going to get at these things. And that's broken up, and back comes Justin Posen. Posen in, across, and that's too far for Ronnie Orgel. Ronnie Orgel can't hammer that down. Now Pellig back in a defensive position, covering for Posen. Hong Kong with a lot more jump than they had last night, that's for sure. Here they come again, Hong Kong. That could be offside, and as Kwan touches it, that's exactly what it is. And Trev, I know you weren't here with us yesterday, but it's a theme we've seen today. Teams that started slow yesterday really, I guess, building in their second game coming out of the gate here.
And we've seen it over the years, Chris, through various hockey tournaments, whether it be ball hockey, ice hockey, whatever it might be. But if you lose that first game, you do put yourself behind the 8 ball, and you've got to be ready to play a second game. If you go down 0-2 to start a tournament, it puts you in a very tough position. So, to your point there, that when you see a team lose the night before, you're going to see them with a lot more passion the next day. And that's what we're seeing here today.
Absolutely. And conversely, maybe you're seeing a little bit of satisfaction from yesterday from the Israelis, and now they realize they're in a game here with Hong Kong as the Israelis go offside again. And it's a good time to note you can get in touch with us here in the booth, 2013WBHC@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, 2013WBHC, or if you're on Facebook, you can find us there too, 2013 World Ball Hockey Championship. Oh, shot and a glove to the face of Fleischer. He did not like that very much. Harry Fleischer battling in front. Fleischer short, stocky, and strong down there as Israel battles in the corner. A lot of board play so far. Lee Grunberg dumps it back in. In for Pearl, who's playing with Josh and Eben Stern. And there will be a whistle there as the players fall on the ball, and the face-off will go to the right of Matthew Louis.
Yeah, and much more end-to-end action here in the last 3 or 4 minutes, because in the first 2-3 minutes it was all Hong Kong, but now we're seeing a much more back-and-forth game. The Israelis getting a few chances here, getting some pucks in deep. Now they have to create some chances from that low ball and get it to the net a little more often.
Absolutely. And here's Wall. Wall throws it out. Berisha, quick release, big save by Louis. Backhand by Sanukov. Again, the big line for the Israelis, and very cheeky play there by number 10 for Hong Kong. And that is Van Dijk, driving to the net is Wall. The ball bounces on the back of the net. Israeli players thought they might have scored. And the play is blown down. And the face-off will be to the left, of Alan Mack, who's in net for Hong Kong tonight. We apologize to the Macks and the Mack family, as we believed it to be Matthew Louis, but it is certainly not. It's Alan Mack.
And there we see a real good shift from the Israelis. We just talked about getting balls down low and making something happen. Good work down low behind the goal line, getting two balls out to the slot and getting some good opportunities from that. So they're maybe seeing something from the Hong Kong team here. They're not defending that pass from the back of the net. So we'll see that. And there's a goal right there, Chris. Once again, we see it off the wall, down low. They drive to the net, and they score a goal. So maybe with the Hong Kong team not defending down low real well, we'll see the Israelis take advantage of that.
And I didn't catch the number on that goal, but I think it might be Rowan Price again. Absolutely, so it was. Roman Price, his third goal of the tournament, making it 2-1, and we've got a brand new game here.
Now with 7.5 minutes left in the first period, it's important now for Hong Kong to come back, get some pressure. A goal or not, doesn't really matter right now, but make sure they regain the pressure they had to start the game, because the Israelis are coming on, and you don't want to allow them to get that next one.
Absolutely, Trev, and they have been. The Israelis certainly pressuring. And it should be noted, something very interesting happening on the ice right now as Josh and Eben Stern. Nice save by Wenter. Josh and Eben Stern, Trev Knott brothers, father and son on the ice for
Chris?
Team Israel on the floor, yes. Eben and Josh Stern, so what a nice story that is for Eben to be able to play with Josh here at the World Championships in St. John's. Battling hard in the corner, Nikolai Ekanevsky. Big battle going on there, and there's going to be a hold or a trip. Whatever it is, Ekimyovsky gone for tripping. So as we talked about, Trev, Hong Kong puts on the pressure, draws a penalty. Now they go to the power play. Same old story in this game, whether it's on the ice or on the concrete. You put on the pressure, you draw the penalty.
Now a real good rebound shift for Hong Kong. The Israelis went out, they score a goal. Hong Kong comes back, gets the ball into the Israeli end, and a real good shift. You know, the Hong Kong player had his feet moving the whole time, making it very difficult on the Israeli defenders. And as you said, Chris, causes the Israeli team to draw a penalty. Now Hong Kong goes back on the power play. I'm sure looking for that point shot once again to try and get that third goal.
Yes, a massive shift here for Hong Kong. Back to Lam at the point. Lam sends it in for the diminutive Tran in the corner for Hong Kong. Sends it back to the point for Sioux. And that's off Winter. And I believe that hit Winter's helmet, and play was blown down by the official.
And we see right there Hong Kong trying to stretch it out. They bring the puck back to the point. The ball back to the point, looking for the shot. But once that Israeli player comes out, that opens up the down low seam once again. So they look for that, quick pass back down low, and then the walkout from the half boards.
Knocked down by Fang So. And back out here to the point for Lamb. Lamb with the shot, back door. Winter with a huge save from Fang Soa. Sent back in front. Winter, who was his team's player of the game yesterday, trying to find that form again here, knowing how important it is to keep that third goal out of the net. Play comes back up the ice. Here's Fang Soa. Fang Soa, chip ahead for Loki Kwan. And number 50, Jordan So, offside on the near side for us, the far side from Kwan. And Trevor Kwan is a player to watch. He was lightning quick last night, the best player for Hong Kong. And he's a guy to keep your eye on out there, number 8.
Now, as we see in ice hockey all the time, Chris, when you have good speed, you make things happen. We're seeing it here tonight as well. These runners that, if you have speed, you can make things happen. You can pressure things quickly. Plus, when you have control of the ball, you're making opportunities for your team. So, speed kills, no matter if it's on the ice or on the concrete.
Absolutely. So the Israelis go with Price and Peleg on this kill. And Price will rag the ball back as Lee Grunberg lets him know that he has some time. And Price will send the ball the length of the floor here. Peleg on it hard, knocked down by Mack. Mack turns a weak play there. Peleg on the forecheck. Price, always dangerous. Fleischer over's there on the looking for the forecheck, and the Israeli forecheck very interesting on the PK there as they kind of rotate around on the back. So shot blocked by Grunberg up in the air. Grunberg with it on his stick. Hits Price with it, doesn't get it down. And now Price will turn it over, and it remains in the Israeli zone. Here's So. So sends it deep, and Lee Grunberg is back. Grunberg chips it up along the boards, and Price will finally get it down the floor, and Israel will get in a partial change, but Hong Kong turns it back up the floor. Eben Stern able to get out in the change, as is Oded Orgel. Ryan Kimmel. And now Peleg will get off, complete the change as the two Sterns are out there. Eben forcing the play. Now Josh, as Eben recovers. Ryan Kimmel can't knock that down. We got a foot race, and Orgel takes the right path to keep the dangerous Stephen Kwong away from the ball. So while not interference, Trevor, just a good path to get back the floor.
Absolutely, and a good penalty kill by Israel right there. We saw in their first penalty kill, they had a goal scored against them because they collapsed a little too low. A little more aggressive here on the second penalty kill, and that didn't give Hong Kong the same time to set up, and was successful for Israel. So we'll see if that continues here throughout the game when they are killing penalties.
And back with the big line here as the penalty expires of Sanukov, Wall, and Berisha. Wall brings it up the wall, and he pulls in over the blue, and he'll look to flip it in. Berisha heading towards the net, but Mack is able to come out and grab that. Alan Mack.
No, here we see, though, Israel knows right there, not going to score on that kind of shot. They get the ball in on the goaltender, and they want that offensive zone face-off. And, we see it time and time again that these offensive zone face-offs become more important as the game goes on. We're still early, but certainly right now they're being outshot 11-5. So Israel needs to start creating some chances, and these offensive zone face-offs are a key opportunity to do that.
Absolutely, and we talk about it time and time again. Possession is won from face-offs. There's very few chances in the game where you have a 50-50 chance of getting the possession of the ball. The face-off is one of them. They happen so frequently. Such an important part of the game, and Mike Sanukov is going to line up here hoping to win one for Israel. The lanky Sanukov lines up against the diminutive Tran. And that's back. Kept in there by number 5, Justin Posen. Sanukov knocks it ahead. Wall digging deep. Sanukov, Berisha being watched very close in front. Sanukov taken down, no call, although the Israeli bench was certainly interested in that happening. Here's Winkler. Winkler chips it back off the boards, and it gets in. Good stick there to knock the ball ahead. And here comes Hong Kong, 3-on-2 developing. That's broken up by Winkler, and here's Benny Berisha. Berisha chips it in. His line mates go for a change, but Berisha will pursue the ball. Intensity picking up here. The Price and Peleg over the boards, and they'll wait for their rye mate as Berisha will go for a change. Here comes Hong Kong. It's 11. Fang Soa spending a lot of time on the floor here tonight. That's wide for Tran. Tran met by Grunberg there, and here's Ronnie Peleg. Peleg chips it lightly ahead for Price. Price picking up ahead of steam, and they go into the boards, Price and Tran. Excuse me, that's Ma. Here's Orgel. Orgel for Price. Peleg driving the net. Price flips it in deep. Price across for Fleischer. Fleischer with the shot wide. Oded Orgel up on the boards. And we've got a penalty call coming here. Looks like it's going against Hong Kong as Tony Deek has his arms in the air. And he's wondering what the call is going to be. Number 43 is going to the box. That's Colin Wong. And he'll sit for 2. And there's 2:44 remaining here in the first period as Israel goes to the power play.
We're early in the game, as we mentioned, Chris, but a key opportunity right now for Israel. You know, it's been a pretty even game here in the last 7-8 minutes, but it's a nice chance for Israel now to create some chance. If they score a goal as a bonus, but it's important to get some pressure on Hong Kong right now and set the tone for this final 2.5 minutes of the first period.
So the Israelis going with Sanukov, Price, and Wall, as Berisha was just after coming off a lengthy shift. Not sure what the discussion is about down here. Oh, and what it is the Hong Kong bench looking for Price to leave the floor, feeling that the injury from the last play caused the whistle. The whistle was blown on the penalty, so whether or not there was a resulting injury, Price will not have to leave the floor. That's the proper call by the officials. And we get set for the face-off to the right of Alan Mack.
That might be the first time you've agreed with an official, Chris. This is a big moment. Big moment.
That doesn't happen very often. So we've got 4 forwards on the floor for Israel. Berisha out there with Kimmel, Sanukov, Wall, and Price. The big guns out there. Here's Price. He'll control from the half boards. Looks across. That's tipped in the middle. Berisha, not a defenseman, almost gets caught, but there's a turnover shot and a shot block by Tony Lamb. Back for Price. Price with time. Kimmel looking for the ball up top. Price with the quick shot. And Wall is on that. Wall works the half boards with Berisha. Berisha drags to the top. In for Wall. Wall, Sanukov calling for it in the high slot. Back for Berisha. Berisha slides it for Kimmel. Kimmel fires it. And a huge block down there. But they can't get it deep. Kimmel picks it off. Great hand-eye by Loki Kwan. Unbelievable to pick that off in the air and send it down.
Now, I like what Israel's trying to do there. They're seeing that the Hong Kong team has a bit more of a spread-out box, so there is an opportunity to try and get that ball through the seam. Israel trying to feed that man in the high slot for that quick shot.
Here comes Berisha with 1:30 left in the period, 43 in the penalty. Benny Berisha turns it over, and back comes Israel, and it's Ari Fleischman. Excuse me. Ronan Fishman. I apologize. Ronan Fishman attacks the blue line. Chips it ahead, but to no avail as it's sent back down the floor, and Darren Winkler will retreat. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty. 1 minute left here in the first period. Here's Price. Price attacking the blue line. Gains the blue line, sends it in. Can't clear. Fishman picks it up. Shot blocked. Into the corner goes. I can't see the Israeli forward. Sends it towards the net. Price still out there. Price with a shot. Off a leg. Ball's loose. Price flips it just wide. Hands were in the air for Israel again. They got bad depth perception or something here. And back comes Hong Kong. Penalty over. 30 seconds remain. Winter out to stop the ball. Sent out front. And back comes Peleg. We got a 3-on-2 developing with Israel. Peleg sends it out wide. Here's Stern with a shot. Big save by Mack. Rebound. Stern. Mack down. Covers. Ball still loose. Oh, what a huge save off of Stern. Back front for Peleg. Peleg battles in the slot. Another diving block. Just wide. Peach in there. Pearl, excuse me. Shot from the point just wide. Oh, and what frantic action. to end the first period of play here. Israel pounding the net down, and the best thing for Hong Kong there was the clock running out.
And as we talked about, when Israel had that power play, they needed to get some pressure on Hong Kong and turn this game around. They did exactly that. They had a solid power play, spending most of the time down in the Hong Kong end. They finished off with some good shots on goal and a flurry of activity in their last 30 seconds. So right now, by Israel having that type of flurry to end the period, they get Hong Kong thinking a little bit now, and the pressure that Hong Kong had early has certainly evaporated, and it's all Israel right here in the last part of the first period.
And basically, Trevor, what that means, we got a pretty good game going here. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll get back to you with the call for the second period right after this. All right, folks, and we're back for the call of the second period between Team Hong Kong and Team Israel. Israel need another man on the floor to get this one started.
Yeah, it seemed to be some equipment issues there for Israel. They were trying to get figured out along with the officials, but play's underway again here now, so we'll I guess that's taken care of and ready to get back to action.
And here comes So for Hong Kong. Back the floor is Sanukov, Berisha, and Price now. So Israel have put their 3 best players on the one line to start this period. Here's Posen, just rolls a little too far for him, and Orgel chips it ahead, knocked down by the Hong Kong squad. Here's So sends it back for Kwan. Kwan in deep for Lee. Lee across for Kwan. Oh. Sanukov puts that in his own net. However, they're calling no goal. And I got to believe, Trevor, that Sanukov buried that on his own net before the whistle. Referee sees something different.
That was a great effort, and I thought Kwan may have gotten that as he rolled through the crease on his back. I thought it was a good goal. I didn't hear a whistle or anything go, so I'm not sure the call on that one. The referee has certainly waved it off, and there will be an offensive zone face-off here, but a great pass, a little short chip, to the player driving the slot, and then Kwan with a great second effort almost puts Hong Kong up 3-1, but the game is 2-1 with 14:20 left to go here in this second period.
All I can say is if I'm a Hong Kong supporter, I'm going to be thinking about that one if this game ends up tied or going the other way. Anyhow, sometimes you got to get the breaks to win, and Israel caught a break just then. Here we go. 14:05 remaining in the second period. Around for Ronnie Orgel. Ronnie chips it out. Misplayed there, and here comes Price, who trips over the ball. And back to retreat is Matt Price. Matt Price, not a name probably that if you had to look in the phone book in Hong Kong, you wouldn't have to wonder which Matt Price you were calling, Trev.
Very observant of you, Chris, and your world history and world culture is very impressive here tonight. So
well,
that's great stuff.
That's just
very observant, and obviously you're a very cultured individual, so that's good.
Just a little joke there. A lot of traditional Asian names with the Hong Kong squad, and Matt Price. So there you have it. Away we go. Sent across for the diminutive Stephen Jin. Jin sends it ahead for Ma. Ma sends it in front. Winter with a kick save and a beauty. And back come the Israelis. Oh, they can't clear the zone. Here's Tran. Tran sends it in. Big rebound by Winter again. We're seeing a little bit of a strategy maybe against Winters to send it off the pads and get a big kick rebound. Here go the Israelis back to retreat. Colin Wong. Wong chips it ahead. Josh Stern in on that. Josh Stern walks out. Shot save, shot save. 3, 4, 5 chances against Mac, and they can't put it by him. And you know what happens next? Here comes Ma. Stopped by Winkler. Winkler for Evan Stern with a weak shot at net. Colin Wong on that rebound. Sent out. Winkler knocks it down again. Sends it for Josh Stern. Here comes Colin Wong, and he's coming with speed, looking for a pass. Chipped again. And in deep. In deep for Peach. Peach on that, on the forecheck. The lanky Paul Pearl, not Peach, Paul Pearl. And that's back around for Wong. Wong out there on a lengthy shift. He sends it wide for Ma. Ma. Back for Lee, I believe. Here's Ma. Hits the line with Fang Soa. Sent in, and Sanukov picks that up. Israeli back with the big line after the offensive shift. They have Sanukov, Wall, and Berisha. Turned over down low, and Grunberg is there. Berisha on the back check. Knocks number 19, John Lamb, off the ball. Poke check there by Winkler. And here's number 9, Eric Siu. Siu in deep for Tony Deek. Deek for Siu. Big Tony Deek in front of the net. Winter doesn't see that one with Deek screening him. Here's another quick shot by number 19, Johnny Lamb. That goes into the corner for Tony Deek. Lots of pressure from Hong Kong here now. Siu has it bounce off a defender, Sanukov. And how do you neutralize Israel's best line? Israel's best line, you keep him in the zone. Chip by Wall. Berisha picks that up, but he's hunted down. And we're going to get a tripping call, I believe, against Hong Kong. So after some intense pressure, Trev, Hong Kong, unfortunately, take a penalty.
Well, and let's go back 2 minutes here to the saves that Alan Mack made. He's a big guy in goal, and he gets down and covers the bottom of the net very well. He made 2 or 3 nice saves as Israel was banging away at that ball, but a nice job of covering the bottom of the net, making sure he was tight to the post so he couldn't jam that puck past or that ball past him. And then as the play continued up the floor, Hong Kong had some real good chances in the other end. So you play off and you feed off those good saves as you head down the offensive zone. We've seen Hong Kong do just that here in the last minute and a half.
Absolutely, no doubt. Trevor, you're bang on again. In the box is John Lamb for 2 or less. And that's Fishman. Fishman shoots wide. Recovered by Tony Lamb. Tony Lamb hooked. No call. Referees say it's a play. And here comes So. So down the floor on a solo dash. He's met there by Captain Ryan Kimmel. Kimmel loses that. Here's Loki Kwan, the very dangerous Kwan. Kwan rags the ball, is going to send it back. And that could be icing, offside, whatever you want to call it. Faceoff's going to come back to the right of Alan Mack.
Nice job by Hong Kong to start this penalty kill. A real patient play by Jordan So at the defensive blue line, making a nice move, not rushing things. He's able to bring the ball down the boards, gain the offensive zone, makes a good pass back to Kwan, and they kill about 30 seconds off the penalty kill. So that's an important way to start this power play or this penalty kill, and we'll see if this continues here as we go forward. But 1:27 left in the Hong Kong penalty.
Sent deep, and Jeff Wenter will set that up for Oded Orgel, the top defender here on the Israeli squad. Oded Orgel hits the red, tries to chip it past Fang Soa, can't do it. Fang Soa is coming away. Ronnie Pellick on the back check. Fang Soa fights him off, and Jeff Wenter with a huge save, sliding across to the butterfly position, taking that in the midsection, and most importantly, no rebound.
And Israel so far not getting anything going on this power play. They're almost 1 minute in, haven't really gained the offensive zone at all here. So give credit to Hong Kong for being aggressive on the penalty kill, making some things happen, actually getting some good chances off the penalty kill. So with 1 minute left here in this power play, Israel has to get something going to try and capture some of the momentum they had to finish off that first period.
So Israel will come back with Wall, Sanukov, Price, Berisha. And Wenter will hold on to that one. We'll do it again.
And we're seeing this, that, Hong Kong is forcing the play on this penalty kill and another offensive zone faceoff. If you're Israel, you don't want this. You want to get this ball out, get down, and really start to create some havoc in the offensive zone. But they haven't been able to do it yet. So full marks to Hong Kong for this solid penalty kill.
Absolutely. And Hong Kong rebounded from an 8-1 thumping at the hands of Bermuda last night. So they've got a newfound energy here. And that's a careless turnover for Ryan Kimmel. Doesn't know where the ball is. Fang Soa knocks that down. Oh, and a nice move there, Fang Soa. He has Tran on the left side. All this while Hong Kong is shorthanded, and that bounces off Sanukov. And it's in again. Berisha in front of the net again, playing defense on this power play. So not expected to be back in his own zone. He's supposed to be out here for the big bomb. Chipped in by Fleischer. Big Ari Fleischer out there to get in front of the net on the power play. Sanukov runs into Mack. Here's Berisha. Reads that clearing opportunity. Chips the ball ahead. Berisha alone in the slot. Hooked again. Is there no call? A big bomb by Kimmel. And Berisha wondering where the call was, and frankly, so am I.
Yeah, it could have been a hook or a high stick on that play, but let's give Hong Kong credit for being strong in front of the net and holding back that shot from happening. But you only need one opportunity, and Israel almost had that on the power play. But once again, let's give full marks to Hong Kong. They're hanging in there, doing a real nice job in this penalty kill. Only 3 seconds remaining in the penalty kill. So they're doing a real nice job here. But this face-off will be important to gain control and get that ball down the floor.
Absolutely, and I'm not questioning the officials there, Trevor. They've been very reluctant to create 5-on-3s here this week, and they figured, you know what, you're battling in front of the net, we're going to let it go. So here's Grunberg, all even again. Pearl sends it behind for Eben Stern. Josh Stern in on that. Grunberg with the backhand. That's picked off by big number 10, Van Dijk. Van Dijk sends it in on the forecheck card, Stephen Kwan. Stern can't get it out. Now they do. Flip it out. Knocked down there by Day, Roger Day. D-E-Y. And Pearl almost picks it off. Back for Day. Frank Yee open on the left side. And that's going to go for icing with 8:10 remaining here in the second period. Just a reminder to fans, you can reach us here in the booth, 2013wbhc@gmail.com.
And here we have, as you mentioned, Chris, 8:10 left in the second period. The shots are 17-11 in favor of Hong Kong. And we haven't really seen much jump from Israel here in this second period. Hong Kong has had the majority of the play. We've seen Israel turn it on in the last half of the first period. We'll see if they can do the same thing here in the second.
And Trev, sometimes it's not all about the play on the floor. Sometimes it's about the fashion. Just want to get to an email that we've got here. Please give a shout out to Paul Pearl and Lee Grunberg. Paul Pearl's 3 daughters, Talia, Leah, and Jessie, think Team Israel have the best uniforms. So with that said, Alan Mack down again. So how about that? The Pearl girls think Team Israel best dressed.
Well, looking good is part of the game. If you look good, you play good, you feel good. So, hey, if the Pearl girls think that's the case, well, I like the jerseys too. The nice blue with the navy blue and the hockey stick there on the front. So that's they are nice jerseys. So let's go with that.
They've turned the star into a hockey. I mean, very good play on their tradition, their logo.
Absolutely.
Their religion,
and,
their
faith. Being a Mount Pearl boy and seeing that blue there, you got to like that. So.
And Trev, you'll be happy to know Gavin Kemp from Toronto really enjoying the commentary on the Hong Kong versus Israel matchup. So at least somebody's writing in. And no, neither one of us are related to Gavin Kemp, but thank you, Gavin. Here's Sanukov. Over for Berisha. Berisha driving wide. Benny Berisha still on that ball. Berisha working hard. Berisha looking in front. Shot. Ooh, almost scored there. Just wide on the right side. Winkler can't get there. And away comes Lee. Rick Lee on a slow break. Posen breaks that up. Posen chips it ahead for Sanukov. Sanukov looking for Berisha. Here comes Matthew Wall up the right side. Matthew Wall. And there goes the ball high above the surface here. Darren Winkler knocks it down. Berisha picks it up, looks to go back for Posen. Posen regroups in the defensive zone. Giveaway there. Here's Loki Kwan, the very ever-dangerous Kwan. And away comes Posen. Posen up the right side. Pass ahead, too far for everybody. Israel able to get in a change. Out come Peleg, Ronnie Orgel, and Roman Price. Here comes Fang Soa, but Hong Kong are offside. They're going to have to retreat. 6:42 to play here in the second period. 2-1 still for Hong Kong. Hong Kong again approaching the line. Getting it deep. Here's Tran. Tran. Chip doesn't work, and away come Israel. Odd man rush. Ronnie Peleg. Ronnie Peleg with a nice move. Peleg shoots, and a huge glove save. Alan Mack, who is keeping the Hong Kong squad in this. We're going to start calling him the Mac Daddy, Trev.
Now Alan Mack comes out, does a nice job to cut down the angle, taking that shot. Real nice play by Peleg to get by the Hong Kong defender. Nice little ball on his stick move. Gets a good shot on goal. Because Alan Mack is a big goalie, he's out cutting down the angle, makes a good glove save, and keeps this game at 2-1.
Great game developing here. What looked like it could have got out of hand early has turned into a great matchup here between Israel and Hong Kong for the dozens in attendance here at the Mount Pearl Glacier. Shot in by Fishman, Roman Fishman. It's Pearl with the two Stearns. Tony Deek sends it deep. Fishman takes a nice path to the ball there, knocking Eric Sue out of his way. Tony Deek in, working on it. Here's Lee Grunberg. Grunberg, the affable Lee Grunberg. Very nice. One of the nicest fellas I've met, Trev, since this tournament started. And while we got a quick break, here's something from the Only in Newfoundland Canada file. And if you've been to St. John's, Newfoundland, this story won't surprise you. Yesterday, after the managers and coaches meeting at the Jack Byrne Arena, I was leaving there to come over here to the Glacier. When the host committee asked me which direction I was going in, turns out the Israeli guys needed a ride downtown, so they hop in my car. I take the Israeli management team back to their houses they're renting downtown. So, only in Canada would you ever see that happen.
That's first-class service by a wonderful play-by-play guy. So that's outstanding.
So I charged them $20 a head, and it was all good. No, but Lee was in my car for that, and real nice guy. I've got to talk to him a few times since. So Lee Grunberg, Ryan Kimmel, and Evgeny Mogilevsky, who we haven't seen much of here tonight, but they're great guys from Israel. Anyway, back to the action here. That one goes high above the playing surface. Battle on the boards. Benny Berisha looking to pick that off, and that's sent out of play on the wrap attempt. 5:01 to play in the second period. Hong Kong still leads 2-1.
And we're seeing Israel slow the game down here in the last couple of minutes. And I think that's going to be important going forward because they're about a 2 or 3 minute span. We've seen a real kind of run and gun game back and forth. And from what I've seen so far tonight, if Hong Kong gets in that type of game, they're going to benefit from that. If you're Israel right now, you want to continue to slow things down, get some offensive possession time, and look to bring balls to the net. But right now, a run and gun game is going to favor Hong Kong. Israel needs to slow it down, get some possession time, and get some more shots on goal.
That's great analysis, Trevor. We've got an email there from Matt Roy who says Alan McDaddy is stealing the show, but Sanukov's going to be the guy to tie it up. So a prediction coming in over the internet. Another save by Wenter as Oded Orgel loses his stick there on the coverage. 4:50 to play.
I like what I've seen tonight from Jordan So with Hong Kong. I've been impressed with his speed. He's getting in there. He's getting involved in the play. He's been good defensively and offensively. A real solid player for Hong Kong thus far tonight.
Off the draw and a quick shot by Rick Lee and a quick leg save by Jeff Wenter. 4 minutes to play here in the second. Loki Kwan takes a high stick there from Peleg. Play goes on. Peleg loses his balance, and back comes So. So with Lee and Kwan coming late. So battling with Orgel. Orgel, one of the steadiest defenders we've seen thus far in the tournament. Big, strong man. Back for Kimmel. Kimmel moves it out wide. Away comes Israel. A turnover. Kwan picks it up in the middle. Let's go. A bomb of a shot, and Winter's able to get a piece of that. So, Kwan and Lee with a great shift here for Team Hong Kong. But that sneaks in behind, and here's Ronnie Orgel. Ronnie Orgel with the shot. And Alan Mack eats that up like it was the free continental breakfast at the hotel this morning.
And Alan Mack making it look easy. As we say, he's a big guy. He's in net, but he's cutting down the angles and making the saves look easy. Taking a lot of balls to the chest, capturing the balls, not giving any rebounds. Just doing a real nice job of keeping Hong Kong ahead in this game, cutting it down, taking away any rebounds for the Israeli team.
You're right, Trev. Alan Mack was taking a lot of balls to the chest so far in this game. Away we go. Israel with the ball. Grunberg sends it deep. Stern can't get the handle, and Grunberg and Fang Soa will chase each other into the zone for that loose ball. Grunberg gains the net. Fang Soa attacking hard, causes the turnover, back for Tran. Tran lets the shot go, and Jeff Wenter with another great kick save as Grunberg puts his man into the glass. Fang Soa, very dangerous, as is Ma, number 88. Haven't seen much of Ten Pao here tonight. Jason Ten Pao, the big man on the point for Hong Kong. There's Ma. Ma sends it across. Net is off its moorings. Referee's going to fix it rather than blow it down. And away comes Pearl. Pearl in the two Sterns. Here's Eben Stern in deep, chasing Colin Wong. Eben Stern around for Pearl. Pearl battling with his number 6, Stephen Jin. This game really picking up here now. Winkler can't keep it in. And Ma at the end of a long shift. Here's Tony Deek, the big veteran for the Hong Kong squad. And another save by Wenter. Here we come again. Pearl and Stearns at the end of a shift. They'll get it deep and change. Again, recovers, sends it ahead. Colin Wong up on the right side. Turnovers. D is caught deep. Away comes Benny Berisha. Benny Berisha on a look at Colin Wong. Get back to the floor. Look at Berisha. Falls down. Pass for Sanukov. Sanukov's shot. Blocked there by Sue. Sanukov battling in tough. 1-on-2, and Sanukov almost comes away with it. And it's chipped down the ice by Hong Kong. Jeff Winter comes out, and he'll cover that ball.
We talked a lot about the Hong Kong goalie tonight, but let's give Jeff Winter some credit here too, Chris. In the last 4 or 5 minutes, he's made some real nice leg saves, which has kept this game at 2-1. And when Israel's been facing some pressure, he has made some key saves. And as we know, late goals can really kill a team. And he's made some real nice saves here to keep this game at 1 goal difference. 22 shots for Hong Kong, 14 from Israel. So props to Jeff Winter for making some key saves here late in the second period.
Absolutely, and without putting the cart before the horse. Looks like Hong Kong is going to be penalized again here. So the opportunities for Israel keep mounting. But as we were talking about, Jeff Winter knows down 2-1, his team not blessed with a ton of offense. He knows that getting down more than 1 could be real dangerous. So he's shut the door here ever since.
And here we go with a minute 45 left. As they did in the first period, Israel gets a late power play opportunity in the period. They took advantage of it. They had some real good pressure at the end of the first period. We'll see if they can do it here again. But this could really set the tone for the rest of the game.
Minute 45 remaining. Frank Yee off for tripping. Here's Roman Price. Roman Price, the offensive star last night. But he's going to want that dump back as he, about 2 feet from the red line there, a little premature, sends it deep, and will come all the way back.
And you don't want to be premature, especially on the power play. You want to take your time. You want to gain that red line. And as you said, just 2 more steps, and he had it. But now because of, just being a little bit quick there, the play is 200 feet back in the other end. So they had to try and bring the ball back down the floor and create a chance. So a simple play, but you had to make sure it happens, make it count.
No, Trev, you never want to be premature, that's for sure. And away come Price. And that one is broken up on the pass, and that ends up here in the media gondola here at the Glacier Arena in Mount Pearl, Newfoundland, the sister city of beautiful St. John's, the host site for the B-Pool games and the women's pool out here in the Glacier. Been blessed with some great ball hockey so far in the first 2 days, and we've got another full week to go. Back for the ball is Ryan Kimmel. Kimmel with 1:20 left on the clock here in the second period. Kimmel moves it out wide to Price over for Kimmel. Kimmel to Berisha. Berisha hit from behind. And here's Loki Kwan again, ever dangerous. But Price is able to come back. Kwan hammers Price on the boards. Now Kwan picks up the ball. He's in, and a huge save by Jeff Winter. Winter with a massive glove save when it just looked like everything was going to go wrong for Israel. Oh, and here's So. Dipsy doodles around Berisha's shot. So again, backhand pass. Here's Price. Gets up after getting hammered by Kwan. Loki Kwan with a great shift. Oh, and it's a 3-on-2. It's a bad change by Hong Kong. Here's Berisha. Berisha out wide for Wall, and Wall turns it over for Tran. Sends it deep. Ryan Kimmel knocks it down. And here's Israel. They just chip it in. And Matt Price is back. 18 seconds left in the period. Frantic action. Icing waved off as they're shorthanded. Kimmel wheels the net here, moves it up. 9 seconds to play in the period. Here comes Winkler. Winkler chips it in for Pellig, but Pellig's not going to have enough time as the buzzer's going to sound here. And a second period with some more great pace here at the Glacier comes to an end. Hong Kong still leading 2-1.
And we don't have all the stats here in front of us, Chris, but I'm willing to bet that we've seen more shorthanded chances from Hong Kong than we have from Israel when they've been on the power play. So Israel has got to find a way to make these power plays count. We've seen 2 or 3 where they just can't seem to click. We will give them credit for that first period power play towards the end of the period where they create some good chances. But other than that, it's been all Hong Kong on the penalty kill. They've done a nice job of using their speed, getting sticks on balls, and making it count, and doing a real nice job of getting the ball down the floor, making Israel have to counterproduct and come back 200 feet.
Absolutely. Well, we're setting up for a good finish here in this B-Pool game between Hong Kong and Israel. There's 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the intermission, and we'll talk to you after that. All right, folks, we are back for ball drop here on the third period of this game between Hong Kong and Israel. And it's setting up for a great finish here at the Glacier. Israel on the attack here early. And Trev, we were talking in the intermission just how entertaining this tournament has been thus far.
No, absolutely. You know, this is one of my first games here, but from talking to you and talking to others, they've been very impressed so far with the caliber of play. So, you know, it's only going to get better as the week goes on. These teams get more comfortable with the floor, with their surroundings, and, you know, like anything else, you gain, you know, momentum as the tournament goes on. So it's going to be some great hockey for fans to watch who are in the local area. And if you're not in the local area, then certainly follow us online and enjoy the action that's coming from St. John's and Mount Pearl.
And here's Pellig on the draw. Pellig, Price, and Ronnie Orgel out here for a shift. And that comes right around. Winkler and Posen on the D side for Israel. Whistle goes there, unfortunately, out of our sight line, so not exactly sure what happened. Looks like the ball may have popped up and hit a glove on the Israel bench there.
Yeah, it was interesting watching the intermissions. You talked about, Chris, but watching the intermissions, and Hong Kong coach was very calm. You know, the players were just talking, and you can see they're very relaxed and ready to go. But Israel a little more intense, a little more upbeat, and some of their leaders really trying to get the players going. So we'll see how they react here in this third period.
Yeah, and I think based on what we've seen, Trev, so far the first couple of games, this Israel team thrives on emotion. And it can be a dangerous strategy, but it can also be an effective one. Well, here's Fang Soa. He throws it at the net. That's knocked away by Winkler. Ronnie Orgel into the corner. Chasing his man. Here comes Ronnie Pellig. Pellig with the shot block. And that one goes into the Israeli bench as well. The face-off come outside of the Israeli blue line.
It's an old cliche here now, Chris, but you know that next goal is a big goal. You know, with 13:50 left in the third period, the shots are 24-15 in favor of Hong Kong. So that next goal becomes a big one. If Israel scores that goal, momentum's going their way. But if Hong Kong can get that third goal, take a 2-goal lead, they're in real good position coming home.
Yeah, Trevin, on a grander scale for the tournament, I mean, Hong Kong already down a game, 0-1, and Israel already have 1 point. Certainly like to build on that. So, you know, the game within the game within the tournament, also very important, as every goal is going to count here. Back we come to floor. Here's number 46, Ronan Fishman. He's battling with Eric Sue. Sue, Fishman, Grunberg, Deke, all in there. Here's Sue. Sue battling again with Stern. Ball into the corner. Grunberg rides Tony Deke in there hard from behind. Knocked down by Day. Day's going to fire it back in just wide of the cage. Oh, Stern takes a hit from behind there, and he chips it out, taking the hit to make the play. Down goes Tran. And here comes Ronan Fishman. Fishman chips it in, and a quick offside call as the ball just was slightly delayed entering the zone off the jersey of a Hong Kong player. So 12:41 to play here in the third period, still 2-1 score.
Israel's got to find a way to get to this neutral zone and start getting some possession in the Hong Kong zone. We haven't seen sustained pressure, you know, in the last 10 minutes or so from Israel. So they've got to find a way to get the balls in and find a way to get some pressure on the Hong Kong defense.
Yeah, and this is the line they're going to need, Trev. And Mike Sanukov has not been as effective tonight as he was in his first game. As I mentioned, Israel flying high in emotion in game one. Maybe a bit of a letdown here. But Sanukov is a guy they're looking for, and he's going to have to bring it.
And here comes the offensive zone faceoff right now. We're seeing it here, 12 minutes or just over 12 minutes left in the third period. Israel getting an offensive zone faceoff. So as you touched on in the first period, Chris, these offensive zone faceoffs are key, you know, because you want to gain possession of the ball. You want to try and create some opportunities from the faceoff and make something good happen. So we'll see what Israel can do with this opportunity right here, right now.
And here it is again, offensive zone faceoff. Israel controls down low. It is hard to tell, actually, who's down there. That's Wall, Matthew Wall with Benny Berisha and Mike Sanukov. Berisha in digging. He's going to be looking for Sanukov out front. Hong Kong been all over these Israelis. in the defensive zone, making it very hard for them to get any room. Oded Orgel steps up with a big pinch. Berisha wins a battle. Sanukov wide open in the slot. If only the Israelis could find him. He's wide open, nobody around him. And we've got a penalty call here, and it's going to be coincidental penalties. It's going to be Berisha heading off and Joe Chan. Coincidental roughing minors called here. So 11:46 to play. Berisha will sit for 2 plus whatever it takes for a whistle. Might be the longest break that he got this tournament.
Now, we have seen the physical play pick up a little bit here in the last couple of minutes, and I personally think that the physical play will benefit Israel here because we talked about earlier, Hong Kong has some great speed. They want to run this floor quickly, make things happen off of the attack. Well, Israel needs to use their size to their advantage. They need to try and slow the pace down, and as we've talked about, get the offensive zone and create some chances, and part of that is using their size.
And here's Roman Price. Price, also a former major junior player, had 2 big goals yesterday, and they'll be counting on his experience. But here's So, and the lightning fast Loki Kwan headed down the ice. Winter steers that one wide. Hong Kong with it down low, and this is their top line tonight of Lee, Kwan, and So. Winkler knocks it down on the backhand, then Pellig gets it out. Chipped off of Price. Matt Price chips it in, and here comes Roman Price. Price and Price. The Price is right. Here's Roman Price again with the ball on the half boards, being watched by Matt Price. Roman walks, shoots, tipped, just wide. And it's up and off the mesh. A great effort by Price there, and I think he's going to be one to watch coming down the stretch, Trev.
And that opportunity happens because Roman Price did not stop his feet. He kept his feet moving, really creating pressure on the Hong Kong defense. And because his feet kept moving, he was able to create a real good opportunity for Israel. They get a good shot on goal. And with 10:54 left in this third period, every chance they get, they have to get balls to the net.
And here's Grunberg and Ma battling into the corner. Tran high. Ma comes away with it, beats Grunberg. And luckily for Grunberg, Ma fires it high and wide. Jin sends it in. Here's Fishman. Fishman for Fleischer. Fleischer gets the red line, sends it deep for Pearl. And we see Fleischer taking a shift in place of Eben Stern. Oh, pass in for Grunberg. Fleischer. Rare shift, and he fires it, and Alan Mack called on again. His 22nd save of the night, and Alan Mack has certainly been the man here today.
And there we see it again, though, Chris. Alan Mack comes out, cuts down the angle, and makes a real good save with no rebound. You know, Israel players starting to force a little bit, trying to look for that rebound. But Alan Mack doing a real good job of smothering that ball and not letting the rebounds drop in front of him.
Absolutely. Alan Mack, the Mack daddy, the daddy Mack. Alan Mack not letting anything through there tonight. And Ryan Kimmel is back, chased by Tony Deek. Big Tony Deek in on the forecheck. Sends it around. Kimmel sends it to his partner. Battling on the boards in front of the Israeli bench. Away with it comes Hong Kong. A shot. Winter with another save. And in is Matthew Wall. Wall chips it ahead. Sanukov. Sanukov can't get past the pinching Frank Yee. Here's Tran. For Sue. Sue sends it in for Deek. Deek sends it out. A great diving play by Stern, who's lost a glove. Shot from the point from Lamb, and that goes wide. Whoa. And that's cleared out by number 3, Nikolai Ekimnevsky. Hasn't played much here tonight, has Nikolai. Lamb goes down. The surface getting a little slick out there now after a full slate of games here today. Sent ahead for Roman Price. Price gets the red line. A cute move around Loki Kwan. Here's Price in on his buddy Price from Hong Kong. The two Prices battle in the corner. Battling deep. Price needs some help in there. Ronnie Pellig waits. Comes back around. And I believe it's the first shift we've seen here tonight from Evgeny Mogilevsky, the Israeli native who made the long trek to be here this weekend. His first shift tonight. Mogilevsky sends it deep. Here's Price. Oh, excuse me, Pellig. Pellig looking for Evgeny. Coach must have had a feeling that Evgeny had one in him. Roman Price. There's Posen. Posen a little slow on the play. Oh, and down goes 22, Joe Chan, as he was on the forecheck there. Too many turnovers here for Israel. Winkler turns it over again. Here's So. So walks in and just fires it high and wide. 8:12 remaining here in the third period.
That's two chances we've seen here from Hong Kong. They had an open net to look at and shot balls wide. That's the stuff that could come back to burn you late in the game, especially in a tight match like this. So Hong Kong has got really bear down. They get in the slot like that, make sure they get that ball on net, and take advantage of those chances. They don't come along very often, so they need to bear down and get that ball in the net.
No, couldn't agree with you more, Trevor. They've had some glorious opportunities, and give them credit for their hard work, but Israel has also got to be careful not to be giving Hong Kong more opportunities than they earn. It's 27, Ginn and Colin Wong out there on the blue line for Hong Kong. In on that is Eben Stern, and Pearl out there. Eben Stern on the forecheck, looking a little gassed out here after this long game. Long pass for Ma on the right wing. Ma attacking Grunberg. Quick shot, and Winter's there. And he chips it out into the slot. Fang Soa out for Tran. Tran chips it in. Grunberg has his stick knocked out of his hands by Ma. Grunberg back to the slot. Working hard. In there with Fang Soa again. Grunberg wins the battle. Israel head up the floor. The two Stearns and Pearl bringing it up the floor. Got to get that ball deep. Here's Josh Stern. Taps it a little too far ahead. And that's broken up by Colin Wong. Just lightly turned over. Here's Ryan Kimmel, the captain. Ryan Kimmel with a head of steam. Attacking Colin Wong. Josh Stern still out there at the end of a long shift. Here's Wall. Wall gives it Sanukov. It bounces over. And here comes Hong Kong with a 3-on-2. Hit the dangerous So Kwan line. So Kwan. And they're joined by Lee out there. Here's Lee with the ball. Sneaking in off the point is number 40. That's Tony Lamb. Lamb looking back for So. Hong Kong flying here now. Big shot by So. And Jeff Winter takes that one right off the chest. Covers up. 6:36 remaining in what has been the best game of the tournament here so far.
And a great play by Jordan So. He's down deep, makes a nice pass across, and then recognizes that his defenseman's pinching, gets back to the blue line quickly, and it has an opportunity. That ball comes back to him. He gets a good shot on goal. So real nice heads-up play by Jordan So.
Ronnie Pellig on the draw. He's taken all the big draws for Israel this week. And here's Roman Price, who's my pick to score should they get one. I think it's going to be him. But he's been battling with the other Price on the other side, Matt from Hong Kong. There's Pellig. Pellig loses the battle. Shot blocked in front by Justin Posen. Referee tells him to play on. Ronnie Orgel runs into his man on the boards. Posen, look at this. Ronnie Orgel tackled by the Hong Kong player. And it looks to me that Israel's going to get a power play here, and that's probably the right call, Trev, as I believe that was big Frank Yee on the back end who sent Ronnie Orgel. Actually, it was Roger Day. No, Frank Yee, I was right. Yeah. Sent Ronnie Orgel from the one blue line to the other one as they got tangled up.
Yeah, the last two shifts, I've noticed that Frankie has really tried to step up to hold those boards and prevent that ball from getting past him. That time a little too aggressive. He made the play, but then held on and kept pushing and pushing. And late in a game like this, you don't want those types of penalties. So there's some discussion here about whether it be coincidental or not. But, Frankie has got to be careful at this point of the game about being too aggressive like that along the boards.
And I believe it was coincidental at the end of the day. I believe one referee called a penalty and the other one called the other guy, so we're going to have 5-on-5 here. Initially, it looked to be a power play for Israel. The officials got together, and it's going to be 5-on-5.
I know the Hong Kong Frank Yu did, had the penalty there. He was saying that he was being held by the Israeli player, and I think what may have happened was, as you said, Chris, one referee saw one penalty take place, the other referee saw the other penalty. They got together and they called it. So with 6:06 left here. Shots 29-15 in favor of Hong Kong. Another key opportunity here for the Israelis in the offensive zone. And we'll watch to see here how aggressive the defense get as this game continues and when the coach starts to get them to pinch a little more.
Absolutely, and keeping the ball in low there is Oded Orgel. Orgel out there with his partner Ryan Kimmel. And the big line is Sanukov, Berisha, and Wall. Here come Hong Kong with numbers. It's So again, who's been all over the floor tonight. And Rick Lee, and a huge save by Jeff Winter. And without Jeff Winter, Trev, this game is a little out of hand. But I guess, we could say the same thing for the Mac Daddy down there. At the end of it, it's been a great goaltending display.
No, absolutely. Both goalies playing very well. But we've seen Jeff Winter really step up here in the last, period and a half and make some key saves because he's trying to keep this game, 1 goal difference. And without him right now, Israel will have a much tougher hill to climb.
Absolutely. Ronnie Pellig out for the draw against Loki Kwan. Loki Kwan, one of the most explosive players here in this tournament. Player of the game, as we mentioned last night, for the Hong Kong team in the losing effort.
And we're going to see Jordan So here get 2 minutes for body checking. And here we go. We've talked about it. Israel, a power play opportunity. They've got to take advantage of this right now. We've seen Hong Kong with a very aggressive penalty kill. Israel has got to find a way to battle through that aggressive penalty kill, gain the offensive zone, and then settle things down. Do not try and rush it too quick. And we've seen some great opportunities from Israel come from when they get the ball down low, below the goal line, and try and either hit the player at the high slot or try and walk it out. So we'll see what their power play plan is here now. They need something to happen with only 5:18 left. This is a key time of the game for Israel.
Oh, and I'd say they're holding their breath on both benches here now. Here's Benny Berisha. He rims it around the boards for Wall. Matthew Wall can't hang on to it. Comes loose. Sanukov is there as well. Sanukov and Wall battling hard down low. Back out here to the point for Kimmel. Kimmel drags to the middle. Price is on one side. Kimmel brings to the middle. Here's Berisha. Berisha with a shot through everyone off Fang So and into the corner. Sanukov is hit by 2 Hong Kong players. No call. Here's Roman Price. Price winds, fires, tipped, and that's off the end boards. Here's Matthew Wall. Wall back for Kimmel. Kimmel across for Price. Price waits, throws it on net. Tipped just wide by Sanukov. And Alan Mack, the Mac Daddy, the Daddy Mac, will hold on with 4:26 to go in the period, 107 in the game.
And Jordan So, one of the top penalty killers for Hong Kong in the penalty box. So this is an opportunity right now with Israel can get that play set up with Hong Kong losing one of its top players to the penalty box. An opportunity right now, an offensive zone face-off, 1:07 left in the penalty, as you said, Chris. They had to bear down, gain possession, and at least try to get 2 or 3 more shots from this power play.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised, Trevor, that Israel did not call a timeout to keep their top unit on the ice there. Nevertheless, here's Fishman. Fishman with the ball. Fishman across for Winkler. Winkler in for Price, who stays on. Price shoots just wide. Here's Fishman. Fishman on the half boards. He winds and fires. And Lee going to block that. Man goes down in front is Pellig. Pellig all over the floor here tonight. Here's Price on the half boards. Price fires at net, and Alan Mack is there again to kick that out.
Oh, good save by Alan Mack. That's a couple of good saves on this power play. He has to continue to stay tall on that net, make those saves, and make sure he gives his team a chance to win this game.
Here's Winkler. Winkler comes to center. Turns it in. Here's Evanyevsky. But it goes all the way down, and Rick Lee is offside. Winter's going to have to play that. Here's Winkler. He sends it ahead to Evanyevsky, and it's turned over on the blue line by Ronan Fishman. Penalty over. Back to even strength. Loki Kwan and Ma out there with Lee. Lee, Ma, Kwan, the top line for Hong Kong. And here's Lee again. Roman Price been out there for an awful long time. He's got to be feeling the effects here. A backhand shot, and that hit the post. I'm not sure. I think that got by Winter. Price looking for the long bomb. They can't get it past Colin Wong. Long in for Loki Kwan. And it goes wide. We're down to 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the third here. And that sent Wong for Price. Price, Sanukov, and Price just out of gas. Captain Ryan Kimmel sends it wide for Berisha. Berisha chips it into the zone. Berisha first on the ball. Here's Berisha. He sends it back around. Oded Orgel's going to step up with a pinch and keep that in. Back around for Berisha. And it's hammered out and down by Hong Kong. Here's Fang Soa being watched by Fisher. Back for Oded Orgel. Chipped, and Ma knocks that down. 2:09 left to play here in the third. Israel looking to spread the floor, and they do. Here's Fleischer. He chips it in. Sanukov running on fumes here now. Sanukov, oh, it bounces. Wow. At number 40, Tony Lamb bounced it off the side of his own net. Sanukov just out of gas and couldn't get there, Trev.
So we've got 1:52 left to go in this third period. The score is 2-1 in favor of Hong Kong. Shots are 32-17. And I think we're having an Israeli timeout right now, which is a good call by the coach because you can tell the players are getting a little gassed here right now. They're going to take their time, settle things down, and put their plan together here for the final 2 minutes. We'll keep an eye on the Israeli goaltender because you got to think he's going to be coming very soon. As soon as Israel can get some pressure on, you got to think the goalie will be going to the bench.
Yeah, absolutely, Trev. Curious time to take a timeout if you're Israel. I thought maybe during the power play when they had a chance with the man advantage, or maybe then if you're not going to use it, you wait till late so you can double shift your top guys. Here with 2 minutes left, now you're only getting 2 shifts rather than maybe 3 that you could put together if you use your timeout in the middle of this. So, curious, but that's what they've chosen to do. So face off to the right of Alan Mack, and maybe they're drawing up something here, or maybe they're just going to leave these guys for 2 minutes. Who knows?
And you always run the risk, as you know, Chris. It's nice as a coach to hold on to timeout for that last minute in case there's a face-off. But, the coach knows these players and know if they need a break or not. So the coach makes the decision to call a timeout. And I'm sure he put a plan in place for this face-off, but also a plan going forward for this final 2 minutes of the game.
Absolutely, Chev. You might never get that face-off either. Here's Pellig for Ronnie Orgel. Orgel sends it deep for Price. Here's Pellig with the poke check. And here's So coming together with Posen. Posen hangs on. No call. Here's Winkler. Winkler also looking gassed here. Winkler walks around the net for Posen. Posen starts up the floor. Minute 30 remains. Price tries a little chip play. Can't do it. And here's So. So, Kwan, Lee out there again for Hong Kong. It's like they've been out there all night. Out for Kwan. Nice defensive play by Ronnie Orgel. It's wide. Price looking for the chip around Matt Price. Can't happen. In deep for Rick Lee for Justin So. Jordan So, excuse me. Jordan So manages the ball down low. Walks out. Winter with 1 save. Winter with 2 saves. Loki Kwan. Winter a 3rd save. And that will go out of play with 56.4 seconds remaining.
And Hong Kong is getting chances off these offensive possessions, but more importantly right now, they're running down the clock. And with only 56 seconds left, they spent about 40 seconds or so in that offensive zone, which means they're getting opportunities, but Israel's not. So nice job by Hong Kong, a real good shift by that power line of Kwan, So, and Lee, as you've talked about numerous occasions tonight, Chris, a real solid shift.
Now the big guns get one last chance here for Israel. It's Oded Orgel. Scramble off the draw. And here's Ryan Kimmel. Ryan Kimmel is taken down. I think the clock didn't start there. Maybe, Trev.
Yeah, something was happening. At first, I thought the Hong Kong team was acknowledging the Israel player trying for that stretch pass.
Yeah.
But as I look back, the clock did seem to be close starting. So that play was going on for at least 6-7 seconds. So we'll see if the referees notice that and talk to the timekeepers, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's 42.7 up there now. And we'll see if they make a change. Or maybe that was the change.
But certainly, Chris, you've mentioned it, but it's been a very entertaining game tonight. Certainly started off with Hong Kong taking an early lead and really putting the pressure on Israel. Israel came back, and for the most part, Hong Kong has controlled the play. But give Israel credit; they've hung in there. Winter has made some good saves and kept his team in the game. So we're setting up here for an exciting last 42 seconds.
Yeah, and I believe that was the altered time. I think they took 5, maybe 6 seconds off of that time. So Israel has 42.7 seconds to tie this game.
But something's got to happen here quick, Chris. And, I'm sure they have set plays or stuff like this, but defensive zone face-off, you're needing a goal. Something has to happen quick off this face-off.
And they do. They send Matthew Wall. Tried to spring him. Wall needed to get a bit of a quicker jump off the draw. But a real nice try there by Kimmel to spring Wall.
No, and certainly the right play there because, you have all your players on the one side on the face-off circle. You want to try and hit that player going wide, so they put it right through the face-off circle, a little bit too far ahead. I think your other option right now is to try and rim it around the boards and get that player, in mid-stride. So we'll see what the play is off this one. But now we have Hong Kong calling a timeout. So this gives Israel time to take some time, get their breath, and set up another play here for this final push.
Yeah, interesting choice by Hong Kong to call a timeout there. Obviously wanted to have fresh troops out there and just work out their strategy. I guess they lost that draw, and had that connected, Wall would have been off to the races. So they want to make sure they have all their guys covered off the draw here.
I always find it interesting, though, when the team who's leading calls that timeout late in a game like this, because I understand you want to set something up, don't want to get any chances, but in my mind right now, you're giving Israel's players, the best players, a chance to catch their breath. I like to try and think that you can play the game. You got yourself. You've been coaching them all year. You play this game without a timeout, so you don't give the other team a chance to benefit from that call.
Yeah, and that personally is my strategy as well, especially with the offensive zone draw. You want your guys. You feel you'd have them coached to know. The other thing with this though, Trevor, is that these guys haven't played together all year. And
that's a good point, Chris.
They're coming together from lots of different places. They want to make sure, but it's not going to matter right now if Israel can't get out of their zone. 30 seconds remain. Kimmel sends it wide. They really need a bounce here, and here it is. Oh, just too far. Wall tries to spring Berisha, but just a little bit too far. Goaltender's out. Ronnie Peleg is the extra man. You can certainly expect him to take the draw. He's taken all the big draws for Israel. And I'd expect Big Sanukov to go to the net here.
But as you meant, they needed a bounce. They got a bounce, and from that, they create an offensive zone face-off. So 22 seconds left. You see the players set up, waiting for this big draw.
And Wall scrambles the draw, shot, and a massive save by Alan Mack. 17 and a half seconds remaining. And when we had this conversation in one of the games last night, Trev, you don't need to be a mind reader to know who's going to get the player of the game here. Either way for Hong Kong.
No, and we talked all night about it being very good down low, and we see it once again, getting down low and smothering that ball.
Oh, big draw by Wall. Back for Peleg, shot. Bounces up and over. Battle in the corner. Here's Price. Price brings the ball to the front. 6 seconds. Kimmel gets it. 3 seconds left. He's going to have to put it on net. A shot. And it just bounces wide. What a great game by both teams here. Fantastic finish. Hong Kong comes away with the 2-1 victory. Israel, nothing to hang their heads about. Worked as hard as they possibly could. Hong Kong also deserving this one, Trev.
No, a real solid game by both teams. Very entertaining. The scoreboard went off kind of quickly there, but I think the final in terms of shots on goal was 35-20 in favor of Hong Kong. So, we talked about it throughout the game, but a real good goaltending showcase by both teams. A real solid game. Hong Kong, I think for the most part, they did have more possession and more opportunities. But as we talked about, give Israel full marks for hanging in there and having a real solid game. So a nice game by both teams, a real entertaining effort, and fun to watch and fun to be a part of.
Yeah, and we'll just hang tight here now for the player of the game presentations and the playing of the Hong Kong national anthem, as is customary in all international events. But Trevor, a good effort and a good result for the Hong Kong squad. Again, Israel, nothing to hang their heads about. A 2-1 game, a bounce here or there, either way, and and the result is different. No, but that's the game at this level.
No, absolutely. That's all it comes down to. You had two good teams. Certainly Israel, I think, was more about using their size and trying to be more of a ball possession type team, where Hong Kong was more about, run and gun and making things happen. So both teams, different styles, but again, a real good hockey game and a lot of fun to watch. And as you mentioned, one bounce either way could have been a different hockey game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jeff Winter, the goaltender for Israel, named player of the game for this team's second game. And Alan Mack, the Mac Daddy, the Daddy Mac, will take home player of the game. And that's no surprise, Trevor. 34 stops, I believe he had. And that's if the shot clock was right. It could have been more. So, again, kudos to Alan Mack. And I'm sure we'll see him back between the pipes before this one's over.
Absolutely, and certainly the Hong Kong team being very appreciative of the effort of their goaltender, and certainly he made some key saves at key times of the game, which were important in preserving this victory this evening.
Smiles all around for the red team.
And certainly, Chris, it wasn't a large crowd here at the Glacier tonight. They were certainly entertained. It was a great hockey game, from start to finish. They've seen some good skill on both sides, some physical play if you like that. But a good hockey game overall. It'll be interesting to see how these two teams make out going forward.
Well, I think we learned one thing for both of these teams, Trevor, Hong Kong and Israel. Neither one of them are going to quit, and they're going to play till the final buzzer. So, again, great effort and great show of sportsmanship here between the guys. Again, the Israeli team, especially Lee Grunberg, very, very outspoken. He's their emotional leader, number 15. Very just appreciative of getting all this off the ground, I think. And there's a bigger picture at play here for the Israeli squad. They do a great job just putting this together. Trevor, I don't know if you're aware. We haven't mentioned it. They only started to put this team together 2 months ago.
Really?
To make this trip here. So, lots to be proud of for the Israeli team. And I'm sure if they go home, win, lose, or draw, being in all of these games right to the very end is an accomplishment for those guys. So.
Oh, that's impressive then, Chris. That's a goal in itself, and certainly something very proud of. That if you're building a team, 2 months out of a world championship, you're coming here and you're competing well like this and being in every game. That's something in itself to be very proud of, and I think it bodes well for them as a team, them as a country, that they can bring a team together like this, and hopefully in the future they'll have more opportunities to compete at this level. Absolutely.
Well, folks, that's it for us here tonight from the Glacier. I know it's only been 3 games each of the past 2 days, but we're on for 5 here tomorrow, starting bright and early, 8:30 a.m. local time. That's 7 o'clock Eastern, 3:30 for noon for our fans in Great Britain, and I can't do the math any more than that. So the first game we have is going to be the first game for the women's pool tomorrow. It's the Czech Republic and Greece, and that's at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, Newfoundland time. We'll be back here with the call from the Glacier. On behalf of our cameraman, thank you, Teddy O'Rourke. On behalf of Trevor Murphy, thanks for coming out. We'll see you again later, Trev. I'm Chris Abbott signing off, folks. Have a great night. Have a safe night, and we'll see you again tomorrow.